Hey guys, what's going on? Blaine back for another Netflix review, and today I'm going to be talking about Troll. Troll is a Norwegian monster movie that tells the story of Nora, a paleontologist who searches for fossils in Norway when she's called upon by her country's government. She gathers with a panel of leading scientists to discuss an incident in the Dovre Mountains which turns out to be the awakening of an ancient creature. The creature, which turns out to be a troll, destroys everything where it goes, slowly moving toward Oslo as it does. As such, Nora must team up with a group of ragtag individuals as they investigate the troll for a potential weakness before it can cause further mayhem. There seems to be a lot of hype behind this movie, which is understandable considering the scale of the movie's story, but for me it didn't end up being anything special. It's decent as an average blockbuster flick and is fairly impressive as a modern creature feature, but it remains hampered by flat characters and mediocre writing. Nora was definitely the most notable character in the movie, mostly by virtue of her being the protagonist. She boasts the most confidence out of anyone else in the story and has zero tolerance for BS, so it was entertaining to see her talk down to others and always try to find solutions on her own where others refuse to help her. Aside from this though, she's little more than a vehicle to help drive the story forward, which is fine because she is the main character, but she just isn't interesting. It was strange how much she flip-flopped between believing in the monster and not believing in it, even as she comes across more evidence and clues pertaining to its existence. Her only major character trait is the estranged relationship she has with her father, a conspiracy nut who's ridiculed for his obsession with troll lore. For the kind of movie this is, it's okay, but the two don't share enough screen time together to get a proper sense of their relationship, even when they do share emotional scenes that felt more forced in approach than natural. The rest of the characters aren't even worth talking about. They're nothing more than cardboard cutouts meant to help out Nora when she needs it, which again is fine, but it's disappointing with how bland they are at best and annoying at worst. A prime example being Andreas, who is probably the worst comic relief character I've seen in a movie this year. The comedy in general isn't the best. It relies on a lot of quips and corny dialogue that might have sounded fine, if a little cheesy, but the actors barely drum up any enthusiasm for their line delivery. There were a lot of times where a scene is meant to be serious, and then all of a sudden a character will drop a witty line at the end, but they don't change the tone of their voice much, and as a result it just felt weird. The best thing about the movie, and the whole reason to see it in the first place, is the troll itself. This is clearly where the filmmakers spent most of their time on with this movie, and it shows in the final cut, because the troll and the way it's portrayed is actually pretty impressive. Although Netflix's marketing did not do any favors in this regard, when it comes to the movie itself, the troll's reveal is excellent. It builds anticipation by showing it waking up and causing destruction, but without actually showing the troll itself, so it kept me in suspense to see what it would actually look like in the end. Even though it is strange that nobody from innocent bystanders to even the military ever gets a good look at the troll when it's on the move, it's still cool to see the terror it generates in characters. People get freaked the hell out over this mysterious entity that defies all human logic, and this makes the story more immersive. The design of the troll itself looks good, with its rocky exterior, twiggy beard, and the big huge boulder it has for a tail making it look intimidating. It genuinely comes off as an unstoppable force of nature that humans can't hope to kill, and it's a lot of fun to see the humans try to outwit the troll as they come up with different ideas for taking it down. This is when I started to notice how good the special effects were as well, not just from how the troll looks, but from the destruction it causes too. Even though most of it is computer generated, for a non-Hollywood production, it looks really good, at times almost to the point where it's like the troll is actually there. There's something satisfying about the action whenever the troll destroys something and leaves a ton of particle effects in its wake, and also with the different strategies the humans come up with for trying to kill it. There's even a great attention to detail with the aftermath of an intense troll scene, which was always rewarding to see. As far as being a monster movie is concerned, the action is on point. The movie also adds a surprising amount of depth behind the troll's background outside of the action. The lore isn't super deep, but it does go into some detail with things like how trolls existed 1,000 years ago and how the Christianization of Norway wiped them out. I'm not sure how much of it pertains to actual folklore regarding how trolls are depicted in Norwegian culture, but it's nice that the filmmakers went the extra mile in this regard. The movie doesn't make the troll out to be just another ruthless killing machine, as the reasoning behind its actions does make some sense. Unfortunately, this same reasoning is also pretty shallow in execution. The movie has this persistent message about the environment and how humans are overstepping their boundaries with Mother Nature, which is a decent enough message to push, but the movie is so upfront and in your face about it that it gets obnoxious pretty quickly. It's not bad that the movie has a message behind it. In fact, I think it's a good thing that the movie has something to say about how much harm humans can do to the environment, but the movie never goes about addressing it in an intelligent way. Characters spell things out for the audience that X causes Y, and this is why humans are bad, or why the troll is angry. It just isn't smart or subtle about it. Most blockbuster movies of this scale are bound to have imperfections like this when it comes to the story, as there's more of an emphasis on aesthetics, and admittedly the movie looks and sounds gorgeous. From the sweeping visuals of the Norwegian mountains and fjords to the orchestral soundtrack, everything about the movie has this grand feel to it that helps enhance the scale of the threat that is the troll. It's a shame that the movie didn't put as much effort into its story compared to its visuals and other technical elements. The pacing stops and starts quite a bit as Nora investigates the troll, resulting in lengthy scenes of dialogue that interrupt the flow of everything. It's also filled with cliches like the goofy sidekick, oblivious politicians, and convenient info drops that propel the story at the right moment. It is a step beyond the average blockbuster in terms of how it treats its subject matter, but everything else surrounding it feels just as uninspired as other monster movies like it. Overall, Troll is an okay monster flick that is somewhat interesting with its central concept, but just barely. If you like monster movies and you want to see one that shows its monster on a big budget scale without caring much about story or characters, you might enjoy checking this out. The movie does and doesn't meet the hype, depending on how you look at it. As a movie with a message, it fails to meet the mark and is bogged down by bad writing and characterization. But as pure entertainment, the movie exceeds expectation and is a visual treat to experience, so it ends up being middle of the road for me. What did you think about this movie? Did you have fun with its action and troll scenes, or were you also unimpressed with how it was written? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways guys, that's gonna wrap up my review of Troll. Thanks for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it, and as always stay tuned for the next part, where next time I review the Hong Kong sci-fi Warriors of Future. Bye bye!